Hey everybody, it's Angelica Cheyenne, aka the Chocolate Diva. I'm here with
Mike Slice.
and this is the Chocolate Diva Talk Show. Stay tuned. Hello everybody, I am back once again. This is Angelica Cheyenne, aka the Chocolate Diva. I am joined by another dope guest. He is talented, straight out of the OC, and a G-Funk prodigy. I welcome Mike Slice.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
You looking really Cali chill right now.
Uh-huh.
So, you are from the OC. What part of the OC are you from?
I am from, I guess I was, Orange County, so basically Irvine, Mission Viejo area.
Okay.
Yeah.
My school used to play Mission Viejo. It was very fancy up there. But nonetheless, I'm glad you made it all the way down here. I know it was a bit of a drive, but I'm glad you made it. Now, for my Thursdays, I like to have a throwback memory, since I like to have a theme for each day. Now, if you can go back to any point of your life and relive a moment, what would it be?
There's so many moments. Wow, that's a really good question.
Yes.
If I could go back and relive any moment, probably be, honestly, I think I'm having the best time right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
It was really hard to get to this point. I remember, recording in my bedroom when I was younger, when I was still, not signed or doing anything. And that was I guess that is the best times though, until you get to this point. People always are trying to, make it or get up real fast and this and that, but they don't want to enjoy the ride and enjoy the moments that put them in that position. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I do understand that, and it's good that you say that because you're doing a lot right now, which we're going to get into. But regarding that moment, what was the first thing that you did when you were on the pathway to what you're doing now? What was your first step?
My first step was just basically just staying focused and always recording. I always used to record. I would have, I'd have a bunch of friends at my house, and they would be, we would be hanging out, and I would be the only one who's, they're all doing something else, and I would be, focused writing music while everyone's hanging around me. You know what I mean? And I was the only one who was doing that at the time.
Yeah.
And so
that's dope. It's always fun to hear those stories of people in their bedroom or people in their house doing it, because you think of success of people already at that point, but you don't realize all the stuff they did to get there. Now, you have a very interesting story of how you became a G-Funk prodigy. So let's delve into that. Now, how did you meet Warren G?
He was my neighbor.
Okay.
When I was really young, probably around 8 years old, something like that, 8 to 10 years old. And I used to hang out with his kids. I used to hang out with Snoop's kids.
Okay.
And I was just a kid at the time. You know what I mean? I wasn't even thinking about music. And I started writing around 11. 10, 11 years old.
So you were young.
Yeah. I started writing music. And I was just recording, or I was writing a lot. And then I got GarageBand, all that stuff. You know what I mean? I was recording. And then I would jump from studio to studio and OC and get a bunch of studio time, this and that. And then one day I had a mixtape out at the time, and I gave it to my mother because she was friends with his wife.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen them in a while, and they moved away. And but they were still in the area, you know what I mean? And every once in a while we'd see them at the market or this and that. And I gave her a CD, and I told her, hey, give it to his wife. And that same day, she ran into her at the gas station, so it was kind of random. Gave it to her. She gave it to him, and he didn't listen to it. You know what I mean? Because he gets so many CDs, this and that.
And you're the little snot-nosed neighbor,
No, it wasn't even like that. Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's you just don't know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I continued to do what I was doing, and I found out that Snoop Dogg had a studio in Lake Forest. This is before I met him or anything, and I booked a session there. At the time, it was there's one main studio in the front, and there was a bunch of small studios on the side, and I was in the main room by myself. I would go to the studio by myself. I wouldn't bring a bunch of friends for a distraction or just to hang out. You know what I mean? I would go there to work, and I was recording, and as I was in the booth, a bunch of people started to come in. You know, it was just me, the engineer, and a bunch of all these other people out of different studios started to file in and kind of like listen to me and be like, yo, check out this kid, listen to what he's doing. And Warren just so happened to walk in.
Okay.
And he was like, you know, who are you, like this and that. And I was like, yo, I used to be your neighbor. And he was like, oh, that's you. And he's like, I got your CD. And I was like, yeah, like, you know, da-da-da-da-da. My mom gave it to whatever. And he's like, oh, I didn't even listen to it. He's like, why are you recording here? Like, why didn't you just hit me up? And I was like, well, I didn't, you know, I was like, it was kind of like, well, I didn't have his number, you know, whatever. It was just different. And he's like, you know, here's my number. Take it down and let's start working. Like, let's work. And ever since then, we just started working.
And how old were you when all this started to happen?
I was probably around 16.
16.
Yeah.
So that's like a prime age.
Yeah.
And like when you finally officially met Warren, because I know you said he had moved in when you were like a kid, but when you finally met him, especially in a work setting, like what was your first impression of him?
He knows a lot about music.
Okay.
Like he's very like instrumental. Like he's just like, and he knows so much. So it's just like a huge learning experience, and to be able to be with someone who like really does this, like professionally on a big scale, and like see him work and learn from him, and just being able to be in the same room as him at the time it's still now, you know what I mean? It's just amazing to be able to be with him and listen to what he has to say, and, you know, have him give me game on certain things, and you should say it like this and that, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's huge to me.
So he's like a mentor for you.
Definitely.
So when you were in that setting with him, like, what was you feeling? I know you're 16, you're trying to get yourself out there. Like, what was your feeling about just being in that whole arena with, like, legends like that?
I felt at home. That's where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel any nervousness at all?
No.
Okay.
No, I always wanted to do this. And I feel like everybody has jobs in life. You know, whether you do, you know, radio or, you know, you work in an office building, and like some people excel more and they become CEOs and this and that. But I always wanted to do music, and I don't see why there'd be a reason to be afraid or scared if this is what you want to do.
And that's good that you have that much confidence, but I'm sure it was a process. I mean, you've been writing since you were 11. So when did you feel the confidence to finally be like, I'm going to actually do this and jump the gun and start sending out my music to people?
I've always been like that.
Yeah, okay. So there was never any hesitancy, like, okay, I gotta get myself tighter and stuff like that before I really do it.
I always grew musically, of course, and like into what I am now, and I'm still gonna continue to grow because I'm only 22. But you know, when I was younger, I was always like, when I was real young, like I was a class clown. You know what I mean? It was like that type of vibe. I was never shy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was all cool. So I was like, and my parents kind of knew that I was going to do something like this in the future.
And it's good that you have such big support, especially from one of the best in the game. Now, you are from Orange County, the Irvine area. What was the hip-hop scene like in Orange County?
Dead.
He said it, not me, okay? You know, the hip-hop scene, like you said, in Orange County is non-existent. It's more of the ska, punk, rock scene out there. Yeah. So how does a boy coming straight up out of the OC, you know, just become so enthralled in the hip-hop culture? How does that happen?
My brother introduced hip rap to me at the time.
Okay.
And I started, you know, I would listen to, like, you know, 50 Cent, Eminem, Dre.
Yes.
Big L, Biggie, Tupac, stuff like that. And it's just like, I just loved it. And I became so, like, I just dove into it. And I just kept going. And I would, like, you know, be on the internet every day, like, looking up, finding new songs, like, always seeing what's popping up on, like, Hot New Hip Hop at the time was, like, the site. Now everybody's on SoundCloud. But you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And I would always just be, like, finding stuff and looking, like Lloyd Banks. I love Lloyd Banks, stuff like that. Like,
you're a whole G-Unit fan.
Oh yeah. And I would just look at all these people, and I was like, man, I want to do this so bad. Like, it was so fire to me just to hear that. You know what I mean? But like when I grew up, my dad played a lot of like old school music for me, like the OJs, Marvin Gaye, the Temptations, stuff like that. And like Patrice Rushen, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I love that.
Yes.
And I think that really just ties into the music that I make now.
It is good that you have that musical background, because that makes for the best musicians, rappers, period. You know, having all of those influences. Now, you said that your brother got you into rap and the hip-hop culture, but why did you personally start actually rapping?
He had GarageBand at the time. This is before I even had it.
Okay.
So let's take it back. And he had him and his friend were like messing around. This is like the first time that like MacBooks came out. You know what I mean?
We showing our age.
Yeah. This is like the first time MacBooks came out, and this is the first time like GarageBand ever was a thing.
Yeah.
And they were messing around on GarageBand. They like found a beat on like a website. There wasn't even YouTube at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just found a beat, put it. Oh, you know what it was? It was a G-Unit beat. It was something like that.
Okay.
And they put a beat on, and they were rapping to it. And I was always like, you know, I'm the younger brother, so I was always trying to like, yo, let me hang out with you. Let me hang out with you. And so his friends were always like, yo, let little Mikey come hang out with us, da da da. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they let me come in, and they were recording something, and his friend was like, yo, like you should rap on this. Like they were just messing around, you know?
Yeah. And
he wrote me something. And I spit it on the track on no microphone, just like into the computer, and I was like on beat. And they were like, "Wow!" Like it was on beat, and like that was kind of like when I was like, "Whoa!" And that was when I like found out what that was and what it, you know what I mean?
So you had a lot of natural ability.
I guess, yeah.
And does your brother rap too?
No.
So he kind of got you into it, and you just took it from there.
Yeah.
So a kid who is basically running behind his little brother gets into rapping. Did your parents know that at the time, or they just thought it was a hobby?
It wasn't even like that at the time. I wasn't really like that happened, and then I just continued being a kid. Okay. And then I slowly, when I started listening to the music more, I was like, man, I want to do this. Started, you know, diving into it more, and I just started doing it myself.
It is dope that you found that out soon, because a lot of people can have natural ability at something, and then they just, like you said, it goes one ear out the other, whatever. Yeah. And then they never really horn in on it and utilize it and make something of it, you know? Yeah. It's kind of like a lost art for them. It's like, whatever, I can do. Or they're just so nonchalant. It's like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I can do it or whatnot. Yeah. Now, do you identify yourself as a rapper or a hip-hop artist?
I'm an artist.
You're an artist.
I don't want to, you know, put myself in there. Like I rap and I do hip hop tracks, but I like to do other stuff too. It's not just, I don't want to like just put myself in that category.
And it's good you say that, because there's a lot of discrepancy between hip hop and rappers. Yeah. And I know you freestyle, and also you write your flows and things like that. How would you describe your musical style?
It's a mix between, you know, what I do is I get I'll get, you know, some styles and just be inspired by certain songs and certain people and certain genres of that time, of the 90s. And I basically just entwine that with what I do and make it my own sound.
So you just kind of remix everything up and just make it something new, which is hard to do, because when things change, people are just focused on what the now is, like trap beats. That's a big thing. And the G-Funk sound is still prominent out here on the West Coast, but there was a time where the G-Funk dominated like the whole music market. Yeah. So for you, how do you bring the old sound and you transform it to make it appeal to a younger generation, or just new audiences in general? I'm younger, so I feel like I can you know, I relate with a lot of people who are my age, and those that are my age, there's still people that that love our you know, that sound and love the West Coast sound, you know, with the, you know, YG and all these people out there who are still making that sound. You know, I feel like I just add a good mix to the pot, you know what I mean? And I'm a good addition. Yes. And I sound, you know, I'm very entwined with the group, and you know what I mean? I bring my own flavor, but I still keep it G. Yeah, most definitely. That's the best way to describe it. Now, how did you find your flow?
I just figured it out. It grew on me. Like I remember when I first started making music, I would try and like rap and try and like get as many words in there. Like I used to listen to a lot of East Coast music. So West Coast too, but I love like the East Coast boom bap beats, like stuff like that. Yeah. I was so deep into that. And I would just try and rap. And then I finally realized, you know, as I grew, and then, you know, from working with Warren, I figured out, like, I learned how to make songs rather than just rap on a track. You know what I mean?
And that's dope that you learned that from him, because people oftentimes now just rhyme, and it's not really any
substance
to it. It
Mhm.
kind of just like it's a bunch of rhyme words, it's a bunch of lyrics, but it doesn't really all mesh.
Mhm.
And I'm very intrigued by people who can take a beat and they can ride the beat. Like you don't have people riding the beat, you have people on the beat.
Yeah.
It's a difference, you know. Now, when it came to your freestyling, did it strengthen your lyricism?
Yeah, well, that's how you make a song.
But in terms of freestyling is different. Freestyling is more so off the top of the dome. It's a little bit quicker. You don't have time to sit down and write it out and reread them. But when it came to you, did you feel like you being able to freestyle that made you stronger lyrically?
Yeah, I felt like, well, when I write music, when I write a song, I'll start freestyling.
Okay.
And then I'll like write it down and put that down and then go from there. And then I got the beginning. You know what I mean? Like it's always starts from a freestyle no matter what you write. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's dope to hear because sometimes artists say that they really ponder what they're. Not everyone can say a freestyle in terms of just letting it flow and then make a song out of it. You know, Lil Wayne can do it really well.
Absolutely. And I used to listen to a lot of Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne is probably the best person who can make a whole dope song straight from a freestyle.
Yeah.
You know, most artists, it's just like writing a book. It's
Yeah.
actually thought in it. Now, what was your first reaction when you wrote your first rap? How'd you feel about it?
It was, well, now that I hear it's trash. You know what I mean?
Okay, was it trash because you have evolved, or was it really straight up trash?
No, it's trash because I evolved.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't even know what to think about it at the time. I was just doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of was just like you was getting into it, and it just so happened that it came about.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it like that far down the road or anything. I was just doing it.
And it's good
'Cause it was
sometimes
fun.
you just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know. What does it mean to be a 90s baby?
90s baby is everything. There's so many people who are my age who are in the industry right now who are killing it, and not many people are saying that they're a 90s baby.
Yes.
And they're not really talking about it. Although we all grew up on the same type of music. So I think that's just everything.
Do you feel like it's a cutoff for 90s babies? Because there's some 99 babies claiming to be 90s babies, and I don't necessarily know if they made the cut.
It depends what they listen to. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. What's up, Ian? He just walked in the door trying to be all low key, but I see him. He got this interview together, so I'm so happy for that. But it is true. It depends on what you listen to. So if you're born in 99, hey, you better have your musical preferences right. Now, how has the G-Funk sound shaped you as an artist?
It's just made me more, the G-Funk sound has basically had me grow. Like I said, I use a lot of, his vibe and like the Nate Dogg music, Snoop Dogg, like I use a lot of that energy in what I make, and it's just helped me grow and helped me get to where I am.
And that is good that you have so much reverence for that, because that's what's missing. You know, people are so focused on, I want to make something new, I want to transform hip-hop, which is what hip-hop is supposed to do. It's supposed to change.
Yeah.
But you should always pay your respects to those who came before you. Now, the Moonlight EP is dope. I just really... Single. I'm so sorry. Single. But the EP, your EP that you just released, is... it's probably one of the best EPs I've heard in a minute, from people who are out on the West Coast. No shade, because I listen to a lot, but it's one of my top 5, if you will. Now, the beats were on point, your lyrics are strong, it's overall captivating. What was your creative process for that?
I listen to a lot of music.
Okay.
So I just would just get stuff that inspires me and then use it. I just write so much.
Now, why did you I feel like one of your songs on your EP that got me.
The EP is not out
I'm
yet.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
We got 3 singles right
yes,
now.
3
The
singles.
EP's coming.
The EP's
it's gonna be legendary.
Yes. One of the songs that I heard, All on the Line. That's kind of, it was emotional in a sense. It's very relatable. I know you had said in the chorus, moments you thought about when you wanted to die.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you feel like that? And what point in your life was that?
Um, Probably when I was before I started working with Warren and stuff. I was in a rap group,
Okay.
and it was like maybe 5 of us, 6 of us, and I was the only white guy.
Mm.
I'm not white. I'm Italian and Spanish, but I
Okay.
was like, you know what I mean? I'm the white guy to them.
Yeah, looking at you straight
Exactly.
on.
Yeah. So I was with them, and I was just struggling. Like I felt like I wasn't. I just wanted to go. Like I wanted to be where I am now, and I was just so upset. And you know, everybody goes through their dark times, and I just had a dark period where I wasn't really happy, and I just wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling life at all.
And that's a really sad place to be. And it was just because you felt like you wanted to be where you are today. And how did you overcome that? Because thankfully you're still here. You know, how did you overcome that feeling?
I just stayed close to God.
Okay.
And just kept working.
And it's good that you're so open about that, because a lot of the times people keep that bottled inside. And in the times of like Anthony Bourdain and people who you think have it all together, and then it turns out they have been struggling with this, for you to be so open. Like, how did you get comfortable with exposing that? Because that's kind of a sensitive topic.
Well, as a musician, it's all emotion, so you should be able to be comfortable with, you know, saying how you feel and letting people know.
You know, but as a hip hop artist, that's even more. I think Eminem is probably one of the only artists who really are open about their personal emotions. You know, hip hop is about being strong, masculine, not really letting that become you. But you were so just like, it is what it is. Like, I'm a stronger person, you know, who or what gave you the courage to do that?
I don't know. I'm just not scared. Like you have to just say how you feel, because there's always someone out there that feels the same way, that's going through it as well. So they'll be like, "Oh, I know exactly what he's talking about."
Yes.
Yeah, and I get so many DMs of people like, "Oh, like the other day I got a DM. This person was like, she said, I love your love for your mother, someone that I don't have in my life." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's huge for him to be like that, or for someone to say that. You know what I mean?
It is so sweet, because it's like, you know, you're a family person. You know, you're just a person who loves the work and the success, and it's good that you encompass that all in your music. Now, you have also released songs before, like Faded, One Day, and Fun. How has your music changed from those days until now?
I just, like I said, I learned how to make songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
it used to just be me like rapping on a beat, but I wasn't just rapping on a beat at those ones. It was just different. I feel like time in the studio and working makes you better, just like any job. So I think that just was the deal.
So you think that as people who are coming up in music, that's the best thing that they can know, is that it'll take time? Because, you know, I feel like in the day of the internet, everything's so fast. So is time like something that is really key to keeping yourself on the right track to getting stuff done?
Yeah, you got to just stay locked in and just keep working, because there's always somebody out there who's in the studio when you're not. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's very Diddy-ish of you. I heard Diddy say that too.
Yeah.
You know, and I can tell you're always working hard. You know, I'm not a stalker, a social media stalker, but I do go on my guests' social media pages just to be aware of what they got going on. And you're always doing something, man. You know, you're a busy bee. Now, what artists have influenced you the most?
Probably, I like Big Pun.
Okay.
I like Big L.
Yes. R.I.P.
I like Warren G, of course.
I knew you was going
to
throw that in there. Yes.
Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Eminem, Dre, people like that. Yeah.
And in your video, it was dope that you had all of their memorabilia on
definitely
the walls and stuff, and you showed that in your video. Now, how did you learn from those artists?
I learned through their passion, what they write about, storytelling.
Yes.
Like you said about you know, Eminem not being afraid saying how you feel, stuff like that.
Yes.
And just being confident and not worrying about too much, because this is just art.
And it's good that you have that much confidence, because sometimes that's what stops people from doing what, they're called to do, is that lack of confidence. So I actually want to get into your song All in the Line right now. And when we come back, we're going to have more with Mike Slice. So that was All on the Line by Mike Slice. Definitely one of my new favorites. Now, let's get back into this interview. So we covered earlier that Warren G has been a mentor for you. What was it like the first time you recorded in Snoop Dogg's studio? I have a lot of ideas about probably how that went down.
It was fine. The studio that I was talking about, that was Snoop Dogg's studio, he didn't work there anymore. He already moved on, so that wasn't his main studio at all.
Okay.
So he wasn't even there, and he didn't really record in there, so it wasn't really that much of a vibe. You know what I mean? But when I went to his studio, recently, not too long ago, it's like a spaceship. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like nothing like I've ever seen. Like, he has a massage chair in the middle. Like, it's something else.
You know what? Next time you go, like, can I get like a VIP pass? Like, no, but in all seriousness, there's a lot of things people think they know about Snoop. Like, they probably assume it's like a lot of weed smoke and a lot of stuff going on. So it is foggy in there.
Yes.
Okay, well, I can't go. I
got
allergies. But anyway, no. So, do you feel like you're the beginning of the new G-Funk era?
I believe so.
Yes. And if you could collab with anyone, who would it be and why?
I'd probably want to collab with, like Ty Dolla $ign, 50 Cent, people that I grew up on, but, as it goes for like young people, like I really like Kodak Black, people that I've been listening to, which is so weird to say, but, he's a 90s baby, and there's a lot of artists like that I'm
gonna have to have you elaborate, because I have nothing against Kodak Black, but I just haven't been on the Kodak Black fan train, and I've been trying to get in. I've been trying to get into Kodak Black, but for you personally, why are you drawn to Kodak Black?
I see him as a Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Definitely.
Really?
Yes.
That's a very.
And he's the same age as me, and I don't know.
That's a very strong comparison.
Yeah, I don't know. I just been listening to him for so long.
Okay. I mean, hey, shout out Kodak. I would love to have you on and maybe expect a collab in the future.
Definitely.
Definitely keep me aware if that's going to happen. Now, I would like to play a game with you. It's not, another one of those games, but it's called Throwback Truth Days, where we keep it real about past experiences. So I am going to get into that with the first one. When you were in high school, did you ever skip school to smoke weed?
Yes.
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 Have you ever had a moment where that went south? No.
I didn't go to school that much. I skipped a lot, to be honest.
Okay, kids, you're listening, don't take that advice. Always go to school.
Absolutely.
Smoke weed after.
School first.
Yes. Now, what was the most romantic thing you have done for a girl?
I've done a lot of things.
Okay, let's narrow down to one thing.
I guess it was Christmas.
Okay.
I saw a picture on Instagram of like a bunch of like Victoria's Secret boxes next to a Christmas tree, and there was a lot of them. You know what I mean? There was a lot of them. So I was like, I'm just gonna do that, and I went to Victoria's Secret, and I spent so much money, and I just got like a bunch of just like everything there.
Now, how does that happen? Because I guess when you grew up in Orange County, I don't know. Like, did you save for that? Was it like you used your allowance money?
I used to sell weed a little bit.
Okay, so you had a part-time job.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that's how you saved up. Because I'm not mad at whoever gets that, but as a youngin, I just don't know how people get that type of money. But if you could go back in time, what would you tell your teenage self?
Oh man.
It seems like you thought back to a moment. It's like, I really could have used some advice right then.
Oh, man. I don't know. I was in a relationship for a while, so probably get away from that.
Is it because you were just too young, or was it toxic? Like, why?
It was toxic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was toxic.
Yes, like
I felt
most
like
teenage
I would have
loves.
been farther if I wasn't with. You know what I mean?
Okay. We not gonna get into all of that.
No,
I don't
no,
want to
no.
throw no shade or expose no
No, let's
tea.
throw all shit.
Yeah.
Throw it all.
Did she follow you on the gram?
No, I'm blocked.
Ah! Did you block her first though?
No.
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 Okay.
I want her to see my shine.
Okay. Moving on. Do you think Donald Trump deserved to have his Walk of Fame star destroyed?
Absolutely.
Alrighty then. All right. What do you fear most?
God. That's it.
Only one you should fear. And spiders. Okay. What does your heart want most?
To be happy and loved.
That was so sweet. I didn't expect that. I thought it was gonna be something monetary, like a record deal or like a record studio or something like that.
No.
And last but not least, your tattoos. I see a lot on your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
What does those represent?
I have a 7. This is my lucky number. I have Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
I have.
That's a dope. He did all that on your finger for Biggie because Biggie's big.
Yeah. And then I have a cross, just because cross. You dig.
Okay.
And then I got Batman. And
Why Batman though?
Because he's the best superhero. Because you know why?
Until Black Panther though.
Oh yeah, there you go. But he's the best superhero because he has no powers. He's just really rich, and he like uses that to make these devices. I'm like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just think that's so dope.
I feel like you may be Batman.
No. No.
Just kidding. Anyways, thank you so much for coming, Mike Slice. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. And how can everyone find you, Mr. Slice?
You can follow me on Instagram at The Real Slice and on Twitter at Mike Slice.
And you can find me on the gram at the Chocolate Diva and on Twitter at Angelica Diva, capitalized at ACCND. I am so thrilled to be interviewing him. I can't wait to see what this man does in the future. You're welcome back anytime.
And you can also go to my website, MikeSliceMusic.com, where you can find all my videos and all the links to my Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud and all that good stuff.
Yes, definitely check that out. Now, I'm going to get out of here with one of my favorite songs by Mike Slice. It's Nothing. Hopefully everyone has a happy weekend and a happy Thursday.
Scenery, Fiji water piece, tough exterior, ain't fearing no one standing next to me. Yeah, you inferior, imperial, I'm immortal to the beef. I got a lot on me, put up a lot on me. I got a bag on me, I got a lot on me. It's nothing, 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 it's nothing. I got a lot on me, put up the lot on me. I got a bag.